The rotor wash kicked up more than dust. It uncovered a secret the desert was never meant to keep. It was 17:30 hours at Forward Operating Base Vega. The sky burned orange, the horizon trembling under heat haze. Wind carried the taste of fuel and metal, and the rearm line thudded with the rhythm of loaders stacking belts of 30mm ammo for the Apaches. Arya knelt beside a crate marked Reaper 1. Sweat slid down the back of her neck, darkening the edge of her tan collar. Each shell she locked into place gleamed like a brass tooth. She worked fast, quiet, precise, every motion clean. Around her, voices barked, boots stamped, engines idled. She stayed focused. Ammo didn't lie. People did. A voice broke through the static. "You new on this line?" She looked up. Captain Cole stood beside the aircraft, tall, lean, visor up, a face carved by too many sunrises. His flight suit carried the stains of hydraulic fluid and sand. She nodded. Rotation from hammer lead. They needed hands. Cole's eyes moved over the gear, the crates, the careful order. "You've done this before." Arya gave a small smile. "I like things that fit together." He grunted. "We could use more like that." He started the pre-flight check, running a gloved hand along the Hellfire mount. She bent to lift another belt, her sleeve sliding back. For a second, skin caught sunlight, a mark of black ink, faint but unmistakable. 2 crossed wings over a flame. Cole froze mid-step. His throat tightened. That symbol. He hadn't seen it in years, not since the op they'd sworn never happened. A night mission, mountains burning, a voice on the radio begging them to abort. He blinked hard, shaking off the memory. "Where'd you get that tattoo?" Arya looked at him, caught off guard. "Old unit insignia." "What unit?" She hesitated. "Support group. Long time ago." But his gaze stayed locked, and in that silence the air between them turned heavy. "Reaper 1, line check," the radio called. Cole keyed the mic. "Stand by." He looked at her again. "Bird hot?" "Bird's ready," she said, voice steady. He didn't move. "Negative. Abort sortie." The ground crew paused mid-motion. "Sir?" "Ammo miscount," he said sharply. "We're grounded until inspection." "Copy that, Reaper 1, the radio answered. Cole turned on his heel and walked away. Arya stood by the crate, pulse hammering, feeling every stare fall on her. No one said anything, but she knew what would happen next. Questions, whispers, distance. That night, the base felt smaller. Lights hummed against the dark. The air was colder without the sun. In the mess hall, talk spread like oil. Cole canceled his flight. Because of her? Yeah, the new loader. Got some kind of burn mark. Wings and a flame, they said. Looks military. Arya ate in silence, head low. The rumors were predictable, easier to ignore than the glances. She'd learned to live with a tension that came too late, after everything that mattered was already gone. Outside, the wind howled through the alleys between tents. She walked back toward the hangar, drawn by habit. The Apache sat in darkness, floodlights dimmed to amber. Cole was there, standing by the nose cone, helmet dangling from his hand. "You didn't have to ground your flight," she said quietly. He turned. His face looked older under the light. "You shouldn't be here." "I was cleared." "By who?" She crossed her arms. "Does it matter?" "It does, if that tattoo means what I think it means." Her eyes didn't flinch. "Then say what you think it means." He exhaled, looking at the mark like it might burn him too. "That insignia belonged to a unit that got wiped off the map." Blue flame. Arya's jaw tightened. "That name's not supposed to exist." "I was there when it went wrong," he said. "A translator sent us bad intel. My co-pilot didn't come home." "I know," she whispered. Cole froze. "You know?" She looked at him fully now. "Because I was on that frequency. I told you to abort." The words hit like shrapnel. For a moment, neither spoke. Then he stepped back. "You're saying it was you?" "I'm saying I tried to stop it," she said, "but nobody listened." He stared at her, disbelief cutting through anger, then turned away. "Go back to your quarters, Loader." She watched him walk off, shoulders rigid, until he disappeared into the command block. Hours later, Arya sat on her bunk, forearm glowing faintly under the dim light. She traced the edges of the tattoo. 2 wings, 1 fire. It had once meant something noble, before it became a brand. She pulled her sleeve down and lay back, listening to the low thrum of generators outside. Across the base, Cole sat before a flickering terminal. The cursor blinked on a search field. He typed slowly, "Sparrow." The system hesitated, then opened a redacted file. Voice recordings, coordinates, and a faint image of a woman wearing a headset, marked with the same insignia. He leaned back, jaw set. "It can't be," he muttered. But it was. The night at Fo Vega grew still again, but the quiet was false. Something buried had been unearthed. A memory with teeth, a mark with purpose. And before long, the desert would start whispering its secrets back. The desert has a way of echoing things you tried to bury, and some echoes answer back. It was 0200 hours, Vega time. The operations room was dark but for the dull hum of monitors and the glow from encrypted terminals. Captain Cole sat alone at his station, headset around his neck, eyes scanning through archived flight logs. The air smelled of burnt dust and recycled air, like something that had been sealed too long. He hadn't slept since the aborted sortie. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw that mark on Arya's arm. 2 wings crossing a flame, a symbol he had hoped he'd never see again. A new message blinked on his terminal. Red text, flagged, classified, do not forward. His throat tightened as he opened it. The message contained a single attachment, a cropped, grainy photo of that same tattoo, half obscured by shadow. Beneath it, a single line, "Blue Flame records restricted." His fingers froze above the keys. Blue Flame, the name whispered through debriefs that had never been recorded, a mission that didn't officially exist. His pulse ticked in his temple. Someone was playing with ghosts. Outside, the desert wind rattled the thin pane window. He leaned back, the chair creaking. The last time he'd heard those words, Blue Flame, it had been over comms, a woman's voice breaking through static, calm amid chaos. The same tone Arya used yesterday on the line check. He pushed the thought away, but it clung like grit under skin. By 0600, the base had changed. Conversations hushed when Arya passed. She kept her head down, her uniform sleeves rolled neatly now to hide the mark. She moved between ammo crates with precise focus, like nothing touched her. But Cole could see the tension in her movements, the measured stillness of someone who had been under scrutiny before. Ops called her in. Not officially. "Just a chat," they said. A low room with a single flickering light, 2 officers and an open file with half the pages blacked out. She answered evenly, steady voice, careful words. Name, rank, duty assignment. When one officer asked about prior attachments, her eyes flickered once, the smallest pause. "None that matter now, sir." Outside the door, Sergeant Vaughan waited, arms crossed, jaw tight. When Arya came out, pale but upright, he muttered under his breath, "They're digging in places they don't understand." She gave him a thin smile. "They never do." That evening, Cole watched from the edge of the flight line as the sun bled into the horizon. The Apaches were silent silhouettes against the amber light. He found himself walking toward her without thinking. She was checking the mount locks on Reaper 1, hands moving mechanically, eyes avoiding his. "Why did you freeze my sortie?" she asked without turning. He hesitated. "Your tattoo. I've seen it before." That made her stop. Her shoulders stiffened. "Then you know what it means." He swallowed hard. "I thought that unit was wiped after Helmand. After the black file op. She looked at him then, not with fear but with weariness. They wiped the files, not the people. Something in her tone cracked open a memory. A night sky lit with tracer fire, comms breaking apart, a female voice over the channel. Echo 3, you're off-grid, hold position. Then the explosion, the screaming silence that followed. He had lived in that silence for years. He stepped closer. That was you. She didn't deny it. I was a translator then, attached to a unit that didn't exist. They called it Blue Flame. I handled intercepts, Persian, Pashto, coded chatter. One of those intercepts, it sent your bird into an ambush. I tried to stop it, but the line was already locked out. The words hit like rotor blades cutting the air. He wanted to speak, to accuse, to demand. Instead, he just stood there, every breath heavy. You cost me my co-pilot, he said finally. Her eyes met his, steady. No, I followed the data they gave me. Someone changed it before it reached us. You lost your co-pilot because someone wanted you off the board. Cole turned away, jaw tightening. The desert wind picked up, sharp and dry. Somewhere in the distance, a generator coughed, lights flickering over the flight line. You're saying the command fed you false intel? That it was inside? She exhaled. You already know the answer, Captain. You just don't want to see it. For a long moment, neither spoke. The world narrowed to the metallic scent of oil, the weight of truth pressing between them. Cole's anger drained into something colder, the kind of hollow that came when certainty fell apart. Later that night, he returned to his terminal. The classified folder was gone. In its place, a new alert. Order issued. Personnel, Area Vega. Restricted movement. He stared at the screen until the words blurred. They were going to box her in, maybe disappear her like they had others. His hands curled into fists. On the tarmac below, Arya walked alone toward the maintenance sheds. A pair of MPs tracked her movement, murmuring into radios. She felt their eyes but didn't react. Inside, under the harsh white light, she pressed her palm against the Apache's armor plate. The cold metal hummed faintly. She whispered something under her breath. A name, or maybe a promise. Cole watched from the catwalk above. The same hum he'd felt years ago in Helmand filled his chest again. Dread mixed with recognition. He didn't know yet what Blue Flame truly was, but he knew one thing. This wasn't over. The desert wasn't done echoing. By morning, new orders would arrive. And this time, they would burn more than just files. By dawn, the base would burn its own memories. But some marks don't fade that easy. It was 0520 at Fob Vega. The horizon glowed red behind a wall of dust, the kind that swallowed sound and turned the world to silence. Inside the command hub, Captain Cole sat alone before a dead terminal. Minutes ago, every screen had flashed the same message. Burn order. Execute immediately. He didn't need to read it twice. Every trace of Blue Flame, the mission, the files, the voices, would be erased, and with them, Arya. He stood, every nerve humming. His flight status was suspended, his clearance locked. But none of that mattered. Somewhere out on the refuel line she'd still be working, pretending the world hadn't just been rewritten. Outside, the dawn wind tore across the airfield. The Apaches sat in a row, hulking shadows under sodium lights. Cole moved fast between them, head down, jacket zipped. He spotted her near Reaper 1, checking ammo links out of habit, though there was no sortie today. Her sleeve was rolled again, the black tattoo glinting faintly in the half-light. 2 crossed wings over a flame. "They're coming for you," he said. She didn't flinch. "Ops already called me in for questioning." Her tone was calm, almost tired. "They said they just want to verify clearance. But we both know what that means." He nodded. "They're not verifying anything. They're erasing you." She met his eyes. "Then we don't have much time." He saw something in her expression, Not fear, but resolve sharpened by exhaustion. "There's still one copy left," she said quietly. "An Echo 3 log. I pulled it before they shut down access. It proves everything. The misfire, the falsified intercepts. I can get it out if you can lift me to the relay pad." Cole stared at her. "You're talking treason." "I'm talking truth." A siren started low, somewhere near the ops block. The base was going into lockdown. 2 MPs jogged across the far end of the tarmac, rifles slung, scanning. Cole's mind locked into pilot rhythm. Time, distance, risk. "We've got maybe 4 minutes before they sweep here." Arya held out a small drive, black, scorched around the edges. Blue flame, the real version. He took it without a word and climbed into the cockpit. The panels flickered to life under his hands. Fuel. Green. Rotor engage. Stand by. Arya strapped into the front seat, plugging the drive into the comms port. "Falcon Ops uplink should still be on a delayed ping," she said. "If we're lucky, they'll think we're doing diagnostics." A voice crackled through the headset. "Reaper, 1. This is Ghost Lead. You are not cleared for startup. Power down immediately." Cole froze. Ghost Lead. The same voice from his last covert deployment. The one that had signed the order to stand down when Blue Flame went dark. He thumbed the mic. "Ghost Lead, this is Reaper 1. You knew what Blue Flame really was, didn't you?" Static, then a slow, deliberate reply. "You don't want this, Captain. The truth doesn't fix anything. It just buries you next to it." Arya turned in her seat. "Tell him the civilians weren't insurgents. Tell him it was friendly fire." Silence stretched, heavy as armor. Then Ghost Lead spoke again, softer. "The strike came from Command Miss Reed's. You were the translator, Sparrow. They needed someone to blame." Her eyes closed. "Then you'll understand why I can't stop." "Sparrow, don't." But Cole had already pulled the engine start lever. The Apache shuddered to life. Dust exploded around them. The MPs broke into a run. "Transmission ready," Arya called out. "Falcon Ops node locked." Cole gunned the throttle. The skids lifted an inch from the ground. "Send it." The cockpit lights dimmed as the drive powered up. Code streamed across the uplink screen. Timestamps, intercept logs, uncut transmissions. A fragment of audio played faintly. Her own voice, pleading across the comms years ago. "Negative strike. Coordinates are wrong. Repeat, coordinates are wrong." The percentage climbed, 47, 63, 92. Then a bright green line. "Transfer complete." She let out a shaky breath. "It's done." "Good," he said. "Now we—" A round tore through the windshield, cracking the canopy. Cole jerked sideways, heart slamming. The MPs were firing, trying to disable the bird. He yanked the collective up. The Apache surged, rotors howling. "Base lockdown initiated," blared over the external loudspeakers. Cole steadied the controls. "We're lifting." But when he looked down to the gunner seat, she was gone. The canopy was open. Her harness hung loose. For a heartbeat, disbelief anchored him. Then he saw her figure darting across the tarmac, head low, running toward the perimeter fence. "Arya!" His voice broke through the comms, desperate. No reply. Only wind. Then her voice came through faintly, clear and calm. "Sparrow, clear." The transmission ended. Cole hovered above the field, frozen. He could see MPs converging below, but none dared fire again. The Apache hung there, a dark silhouette against the rising sun, before banking west and climbing out of range. Hours later, after the alarms and the reports, after the command debriefs and the accusations, Cole found himself back at Reaper 1's pad. The bird had been stripped for inspection, panels open, fuel lines empty. On the underside of the fuselage, someone had stenciled a mark, small, black, deliberate, 2 crossed wings over a flame. He ran his thumb over the paint. The edges were rough, recent. No one claimed it. No one asked. But every crewman who walked past that hangar looked once, then turned away, as if not seeing was safer. Cole stood there long after the sun climbed high, dust curling around his boots. In the silence, he imagined her out there somewhere, walking the desert, her call sign lost to static, her story half-believed. Some legends begin with a mission, others begin when the mission burns. And sometimes the only way to tell the truth is to vanish with it.